Good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you can see me. I think the top of my head might be a bit cut off, so I'm going to sit down here. Welcome. I'm Vicky, for those of you who don't know me. And today I'm going to be doing a short yoga class, which will be approximately 30 minutes or so. So just to give you a bit of an overview of... Hi, Seven! To give you a bit of an overview of this class. This class is called Yin Yang Yoga, and the reason for that is that it's a class of two halves. Sorry, let me just set my timer, I just remembered. Give me 1 second. It's a class of two halves, and the first half is Yin Yoga. And Yin Yoga, for those of you who haven't done it before, is a slow, passive form of yoga where we are in the poses for approximately 3 minutes. So this part is going to be approximately 15 minutes in total, so we just have a few poses. And in this part, it is slow, it's passive, and it gives you the opportunity to just basically take a pause from your day, come into the pose, help give you some focus with a particular emphasis on, hi Petra, hi Nuri, to give you a focus on coming into the present and being focused. So that's the first half. Then the second half is Yang. When I'm talking about Yin Yang, I'm talking about the idea from ancient Taoist Chinese philosophy, I suppose, where it's two opposites that work together in balance. So the Yang part is relatively more active and more dynamic, and in this part you are working on movement and you're working on moving the body and using the muscles. So that's the difference between the Yin part and the Yang part, but of course I will take you through as we're going along. So if you just want to first of all get into a comfortable seated position, that can be anything that's comfortable for you. So for example, for me, this is kneeling. Actually, sorry, no, we're going to start in caterpillar pose. So caterpillar pose is where you're sitting. I'll sit this direction. I hope you can see me okay. And then basically what we're doing is we're just folding over. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for a stretch on the back and a stretch on the backs of the legs. So if just by folding over like this, then you're feeling that stretch already, great, then stay there and then just resolve to stay still for the next few minutes. If you're not really feeling too much of a stretch in the back or in the backs of the legs, then you might want to sit up on something. So for example, maybe a cushion, a block, it depends on what you've got. Anything that can just raise the hips and then just help bring you forward. So a stretch in the backs of the legs and a stretch in the back. You might also find that you want to separate the legs. That's okay. That might help you fall forward a little bit. You can separate the legs as much as you want. And you can just put the arms wherever you want as well. If you're feeling a stretch on the back of the knees and then that's hurting, then you can also bend the knees a bit if you want to as well. So the main thing that we're trying to get here in particular is a stretch on the back. So for me, I'm not high enough on the cushions. So for me, I want to go a bit higher up. You could use a book for this, for example. And then just fold forward. The arms can go wherever you want. We're not so bothered about the arms. And when you find your position, just resolve to stay still. So we're going to be, as I said, in this for a couple, probably about 2.5 more minutes now. Let the head drop down. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out through the mouth. And again, breathe in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Let the body relax. What we're trying to do in Yin Yoga is we're trying to relax the muscles as much as we can so that we can get deeper into the body. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere and just soften that area. Keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. And resolve to stay still. Please bear in mind, with all of the poses that we're doing, but particularly these first yin poses, that this is what I look like in this pose. Now, if you end up looking different, maybe your legs are separated, maybe your knees are bent, then that's fine. As long as you're feeling the stretch in the back and the backs of the legs, then if you don't look like me, that's not a problem at all. I want you to be feeling it in those areas. That's more important, not what it looks like to other people. Okay, so just very slowly just come back up to the center. If you're sitting on anything, then just move that away. And just put the hands on the floor behind you without moving again. And we're just going to sit for a few moments before we bring any more movement in. So just notice how the body feels after that deep stretch. Closing your eyes again if that's comfortable. Closing your eyes can just help you really focus on what's happening in the body and in the mind. And then we're going to move into the next pose, which is called square. So just bend the knees. I'm going to move to the side, but this is just to show you. So first of all, cross your legs with your right leg in front. Then bring the right foot forward a bit. And then bring the left foot forward a bit. So it's kind of a square position. Again, this is what I look like. You might look different. So we're going to be folding, so turn to the right and then we're going to fold over that right knee. So the target area where we're looking for a stretch is the side of the left leg, and hopefully you'll also be feeling it in the side of the back. So if you're not really feeling that, then just move the body around a bit, maybe move a bit further to the right, or if that's too much, then move a bit further to the left. And remember, we want to be relaxed into the pose. We're not pushing, we're not actively using the muscles in this part of the class. You can also, we want to be really careful of the knees here. So if you're feeling anything in the knees, if you found your position, then just stay and just let me natter on in the background. But if you're finding that this is hurting your knees, then you need to change position. So in which case, you can move the feet kind of further away from each other so that the knees come closer together. You can try that. That might also change the amount of stretch that you're feeling in the side of the leg, side of the back. Or alternatively, you can move them further away. So you can try both of these things if you're feeling any painful sensations in the knees, or if you're not really feeling enough stretch, or you're feeling too much stretch actually as well. So for me personally, the best stretch I get is if I move the feet a bit further away and the knees a bit closer. You may also be feeling this in different parts of the leg, which is absolutely fine, but we do want to be feeling it in the side. And just allow the breath to help you drop deeper into the pose. So by that I mean on your out breath, then just let the body relax a bit more. Okay, and then just come back up to the center. Be very gentle. We've been stretching deep in the body, deep in the connective tissue, so you may well be feeling the after effect. We're going to go directly to the other side. So this time, bring the left foot in front, the right foot back. The cat's come to say hello. She's a bit confused, I think, about what's happening. Turn to the left leg, and then fold over. Again, move those legs around if you're feeling anything that's painful. We want to stretch on the side of the leg and side of the body, side of the back. Move around to find that stretch without activating the muscles too much. And then also, as I said, you can play with the knees as well, bringing them closer together, bringing them further apart. You may also want to do that if you're finding any sort of painful sensations in the lower back or the groin as well. We want to feel a stimulation in the body, definitely, in all poses that we do, but we need to try, I know it's difficult sometimes, but we need to try to differentiate between what's actually hurting and what is a general stimulation. So I will always tell you for each pose which area we want to be feeling that stimulation, that stretch, that twist, that compression. And I'll also give you adjustments in case you're feeling anything that's stabbing or pinching or something that hurts. And if you find, it is important to stay still, but if you find after a while, after a couple of minutes or so, that you lose the stretch, then just very small movements, just move a little bit to try and find that stretch again. So I've lost it here a bit here, so I'm just going to move slightly more to the left to give myself that stretch again, and then stay still again. And on the next out breath, then just come back up to the center. And then just very slowly, the same as before, just put the legs out straight. If you're feeling it in the legs, that's fine. That's normal. We have just stretched for like about 6 minutes. Put the hands on the floor behind you, just gently. This is not a pose. This is a rebound. So we're feeling what's happening in the body, noticing what's happening in the mind. Close your eyes. Notice the left and the right sides of the body. Do they feel any different? Do they feel the same? Does one feel more fragile than the other? Does one feel more stretched than the other? We're going to be different in different parts of the body. Left and right is not going to be the same. Try to stay still just for a few more moments. For me, I'm feeling that this side is more, feeling a bit more fragile than this side, but I know that I've got some issues at the moment in my hip flexors there, so that could be why. Left and right feels very different for me right now. So then we're going to move into the last yin pose actually. So again, just slowly being mindful of the movements that you're making. Go onto your knees. Now different people have different possibilities in the hip area. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to be going backwards. So you might want to be sitting on the heels, or you might want to sit in between the heels. It depends on which one is better for your knees. So for me, it's kind of something in the middle. So we're going backwards. So first of all, go back on the hands. What we're looking for here is an opening in the front, stretch in the legs, opening in the front body. So this may be enough for you. If you're feeling the stretch already and you feel you can stay in this stretch for a few minutes, then stay here. Or you might want to go down onto the elbows. Do be careful of the lower back here. You might be feeling like some kind of stabbing pain or some kind of uncomfortable pain in the lower back. Something that might work with this is separating the legs, or maybe bringing them closer together. So play with that. They don't need to be close. They can be really far apart. If that gives you the right amount of stretch, and by right amount I mean not too much, not too little, something that you can stay in for a few minutes. Now if you're still finding that this isn't enough stretch, and bear in mind, remember we're here for a couple more minutes, then for you, your pose might be going back down completely. Arms to the sides or arms up. But that doesn't mean that you're more advanced by this. It just means that this is the right pose for you to get the right amount of stimulation. For me personally, it's about here, for me. Do play with the legs if you're feeling anything that hurts in the knees, in the lower back or in the groin area. And then just close your eyes again. You can keep your head forward or you can drop your head back. Notice where you can feel the stretch. Adjust if you need to. Again, is it different on the front, on the left side and the right side? In the front of the leg, for example? Has one side got more stretch? And remember, if you're up on your hands and that's enough, stay here. Now we're not going to be in this pose for too much longer, but just for future reference to remember, if you feel that there's too much stretch on the front of the foot, the front of the ankle, then you can move, first of all you can move the toes forward a bit, that's an option, or you can put a rolled blanket underneath the ankle, so then that basically brings the foot up a bit so there's not so much of a stretch there, because that can be quite a common painful area, basically. In Yin Yoga, we're trying to be with our bodies and to listen to our bodies. We have time to do that. So don't push. Don't push with Yin Yoga. Listen to your body and do what the body is asking you to do. Okay, on the next out breath, then come back up to the center. Go onto your knees, and then we're going to come up, but do it slowly. So put the hands on the floor, tuck the toes under, keep the head down, and just fold over. So just stay folded for this bit before we move into the more active, the yang section. Knees can be bent, that's fine. Just be relaxed, or as relaxed as you can be. And then slowly then just roll up to standing. I'm just going to take my socks off for this. So this is the yang part, this is the more active section. I hope my head isn't getting cut off too much, it's hard to tell on a phone. So we're going to use some of these poses again, but in a slightly more active way, and some of them in a slightly different format. So I'll just show you what they are first, and then we'll do it in more of a flow. So then just standing. Keep your eyes open, watch me for this. So we're going to bring the arms up first, and then we're going to bring them forward, and we're going to curve the spine so we're stretching the back. Then we're bringing the arms out to the side, and then we're arching the spine, and then coming forward again. Coming up, stretching up, and then we're going to fold forward. So this is like the caterpillar, but standing actually. You can bend the knees here as well. Then bring the hands out to the sides and straighten the back. The top of the head is forward, and then fold over again. Put the hands on the floor, bring the right foot back. So we're in a kind of lunge position. Make sure that that knee isn't going out over the foot. We need to be careful of that. You're kind of pushing the back heel down, and then bring the front foot to join it. So we can be in plank position here, or if you prefer, just put the knees on the floor. So either one is fine. From either position, come down and then stretch the arms out. So this is child's pose with the arms outstretched. I'm just going to move a bit forward so you can see. Then come up again and we're going to do that same movement at the start. Arms forward, arms to the sides, arms forward. This is really good for the back. Then arms up, down on the floor behind you. And then we're going to go into saddle pose again, but this time on the hands, on the elbows. Actively push the front of the body up using the muscles. Then we're going to come back up again. Drop to the left hip. And then we move into square with the right foot forward. Stretch up again. Stretch forward. Stretch out. Stretch forward. Stretch up. And then fold forward down the center. Pushing out this time, using the muscles, coming up. Turning to the right, stretching forward, pushing forward, coming up, putting the hands on the floor, and then just rolling over the knees and moving into a down dog position. And then we're going to walk forward, open the arms and straightening the back again, folding forward, maybe bending the knees, then coming up. And again, arms going forward, to the side, forward, up and down. So we're combining some of those poses from the first part into a slightly more active, more yang form. So let's go to the other side. Same poses but other side. Let's do it again. So, arms go up, forward, curving the spine. Arms to the side, arching the back, curving the spine. Going up, folding over, bending the knees if you want to, feeling that stretch in the hamstrings. Arms to the side, straight back, top of the head forward, shoulder blades together, folding forward again. Put the hands on the floor, bring the left foot back into a lunge. You might want to bring the front foot forward so that the knee is above the ankle or possibly slightly behind. And then bring the right foot to the back. You're in plank or your knees are on the floor. Coming down to the floor completely. Going back into child's pose with the arms stretching out, active. Breathing in, arms go up and out, curve. To the sides, arch the back, head back, and then curve again. Arms go up, down to the floor, and then walking the hands back into saddle, actively pushing the body up. Then we go back to the center. Drop to the right hip to the floor. Bring the left foot forward so we're back into square, or you can cross your legs if you prefer. Up, curve, arms to the sides, curve to the front. Arms go up, stretching down the center. Up again. Turning to the left, stretching down the left leg. Up again. Rolling over the knees, placing the hands on the floor, pushing up into downward facing dog. So if you haven't done this before, basically we're in this inverted V. Your knees can be bent at the back, that's okay. Maybe the heels are on the floor, maybe they aren't. Either way, push the hands into the floor. Bring the sitting bones up and back. So you've got a stretch in the backs of the legs, and then walk forwards to the hands. Put the hands out to the sides again, open the back, bring the shoulder blades together, fold forward, then stretching up again, forwards, to the sides, forwards, stretching up one more time, and then bringing the hands down. So hopefully you recognize some of the moves in that as the same or similar to ones that we did in Yin. But as I said, what we're trying to do here is we're moving and we're activating the muscles. So we're just going to do that one each side again. So obviously I'll still guide you through it, but let's try and do it more with the breath. This is one of the main things that differentiates yoga with gymnastics, is actually using the breath with the movements. So just close your eyes before we start. Just bring the hands to the sides. Legs are straight. Maybe with a slight bend in the knees if you want to. Body is strong, arms are strong, legs are strong. Just bring your attention to your breath. Might be a little bit faster than it was before. Slow it down a bit. So we're breathing in for 4, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. So in, stretch the arms up, out, curve the spine, in, arms out to the sides, out, curve the spine, in, stretching up, out, fold forward. In, arms to the sides, straight back. Out, fold forward. Bend the knees if you want to. In, bring the right foot back. Out, push that heel down. Make sure that knee's okay at the front. In, take the other foot to join it. Out, keep that body strong. Maybe your knees are down. In, and out, going down flat. In, back into child's pose. Out, stretch those arms out. In, coming up. Sorry, I'm just moving forward. Out, arms on the floor behind. In, going back onto the hands or the elbows. Out, pushing the body up. In, going back to the center. Out, dropping to the left hip, bringing the right foot forward. In, stretching up. Out. In, arms to the sides. Out, curve the spine. In, stretch up. Out, fold forward and stretch. In, come back to the center, turn to the right. Out, fold forward. In, coming back to the center. Out, rolling over the knees, putting the hands on the floor, going up into down dog. In. Out. We're going to just stay here for one more. Bring the heels down. In. Out and walk forward. In, hands to the sides. Out, fold forward. In, stretch the arms up. Out, arms forward, curve the spine. The knees can bend a bit here. In, arms to the sides. Out. In, stretch up. Out, bring the arms down. One more time. In, stretch up. Out, curve the spine, arms go forward. In, arms to the side, arch the back. Out, curve the spine. In, stretch up, really stretch. Out, fold forward. In, arms to the side, flat back. Out, fold forward, bend the knees if you need to. In, right foot goes back. Out, just push that heel down. In, left foot goes to join it. Out, push the heels down or bring the knees down. In, just breathe here. Out, going down. In, pushing back to child's pose. Out, stretch the arms out. In, stretch up. Out, curve, arms go out. In, arms go to the sides, arch the back. Out, curve the spine. In, really stretch up. Out, hands to the floor. In, going back. Careful though. Out, push the front body. In, coming back to the center. Out, drop the hips to the left. In, bring the left foot forward and the right behind. In, stretch up. Out, stretch forward. In, stretch up, turn to the left. Out, stretch forward. Really stretch the arms. In, stretch up. Out, the hands on the floor, roll over the knees. In, back into down dog. Out, pushing into the hands, maybe bending the knees. In. Bring the heels towards the floor. Doesn't matter if they don't touch. And then in, going forwards. Out, fold forwards. In, hands to the side, top of the head forward, straight back. Out, fold forward. In, stretch the arms up. Out, curve the spine. In, arms to the sides. Out, curve the spine. In, arms go up. And out, arms come down. Now just close your eyes. Notice how the body feels. You might want to just fold forward here. Very relaxed, folding forwards, letting the arms dangle, or maybe you can hold on to the elbows. Separate the feet if you want to, keep this relaxed. And if the breath is a bit more deeper than it was before, then just allow it to settle back. And then just place the hands on the floor, bend the knees, sit back on the floor. And we're just going to move into Shavasana for a couple of minutes. So just lie back on the mat. If you're a bit cold, then just put something on top of you. And just let your legs and your arms flop out to the side, just be comfortable. Maybe moving the body, adjusting the body a little bit. This is just the last few minutes, probably the most important pose of yoga, allowing the body to take in the effects of the practice. So just get comfortable, close your eyes. Notice how it feels. And please do just give yourself a couple of minutes in Shavasana just to bring the body back to equilibrium. And I'm going to leave you here now, so please just stay a couple of minutes or longer. And I will be back again on Friday on Facebook Live, 5:30 in the evening, for a pure Yin Yoga session. So same thing, about 30 minutes. But if you enjoyed the Yin, then please do come and join me. 5:30 UK time, that is. Thank you so much for coming today. Namaste.